Nice to meet you.
Greg.
Isaac, my name is Mike.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, I'm Isaac.
Nice to meet you, Isaac. Nice to meet you, Josiah.
So I'll be like right here.
I'm on the outside.
How long have you been there?
For 7 years. I used to be the CFO for a company called
Oh, okay.
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 In the nonprofit sector.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
I'll ask what you do.
Sure.
Sorry.
Sure.
Alright. Okay. 40 million people and counting, since the population is always increasing, have been diagnosed with mental and physical disabilities. With having these disabilities, it comes with finding services if they have difficulties for anything. But that's not always easy. And that's where we come in, Gavin's Notebook. Let's start by introducing ourselves. My name is Ariana Domenico, and I am the Chief Executive Officer and the Chief Marketing Officer.
I'm Isaac Hernandez. I'm Chief Operations Officer and Chief Information Officer.
My name is Michael Dutra. I am the Chief Financial Officer. I'm Josiah Munoz, and I am the Chief Technical Officer.
So before we jump right in, I'm going to have you guys look at today's discussion. We're going to be going over a plethora of business components, including our UVP and MVP. So just take a couple seconds to look through this. So what's the issue? As I said earlier, people with mental and physical disabilities have trouble finding services if they have any difficulties. For example, my brother Gavin, in the 2nd grade, he was diagnosed with autism, and this was a sudden shock for my family because they had no idea where to start, no idea where to turn. So in Gavin's case, he needed socialization classes and team building classes because he had difficulty socializing. But these services fail to market themselves, and they fail to list requirements like insurance and how much they cost, et cetera, et cetera. And this was just complete unnecessary stress for my family.
Now you know a bit about what Gavin's Notebook is trying to solve. Let's get to the key components. What's Gavin's Notebook's mission? Well, we hope to provide resources to those that need it. We understand that there's a lot of people out there that have a hard time trying to find these resources in a timely manner, which goes into our second mission. We hope to remove the long search times. It takes a long time to find these different types of resources. It can take days, weeks, months, as Ariana experienced. Finally, we hope to store these different types of resources in a database. Gavin's Notebook is a website that plans to be a database where all these different organizations and services come together in order to make the search time faster, and then to provide the resources, and it all comes full circle. So what's the future of Gavin's Notebook? What do we plan to become? Well, as said before, we hope to become an established database where services congregate. Not only do we hope to reach out, but we hope that these different resources come to us. We hope to hold fundraisers and events to help organizations holding the same ideals. As far as we know, there's not a lot of events or different types of organizations that are holding fundraisers or different types of events for special needs or for these different types of disabilities. We hope to become the leading head of that. Finally, we hope to get medical professional statements so that we can get a type of diagnosis page. We hope to direct people that are facing these types of problems into the right direction. So what makes this valuable? What makes this different than our competition? Well, we're quick, easy, and simple to learn. As soon as you access the website, we hope to have a video where you can fully learn how to use the website, and it just gets right into it and right into the usage of Gavin's Notebook. We're also free to use. We plan to be as free as possible to the users and different customers and clients we find. We understand that there's already different types of stress and whatnot, so we hope to eliminate some of that. Finally, we're convenient. This is a database where different types of resources are congregated together. Not a lot of people do that. As far as we know, no people do that. I mean, those different types of services will have their own services on a map, but we hope to hope to house a bunch of different types of resources. So now to our unique value proposition. What does Gavin's Notebook hope to do as a whole? Well, we hope to provide clients with the resources from a wide variety of services and organizations. We hope to include socialization groups, social curriculum, and much more. And we plan to become the voice and hearth for these different types of organizations and for our clients.
So for our client segment, we wanted to try and focus on people like Ariana and her family, who are having problems with finding their services. We were also looking to aim towards other organizations that we can use them as one of the services that we can provide. So for our social medias that we're going to be using, we're going to have Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're using these ones because they have different age ranges that we can aim for. And having a large age range that we can talk to would be beneficial because we can talk to most people and what problems they're having so that we can try and help them with it. So our competition that we have, or that we're focusing on, is Autism Speaks and Center for Autism and Related Disability, also known as CARD. We are focusing on these ones because they have a large group of people that they serve, and we're in the same category as them, but we're different from them because we're planning to use other organizations and services, not our own. For market size, we estimate our TAM, our total addressable market, to be $91,136 annually. We estimate our SAM, our serviceable addressable market, to be $328 annually. This is based off of data we collected from inside the United States, but specifically inside Fresno County. Our market share based off this calculation is approximately 36.58%. For our marketing test, we used a bottoms-up approach starting from Fresno and Fresno County, then we built outwards going through all the way through all of California, and then going through our region, and then nationally. We did this to get our formalized larger numbers and then to break those down into how many people actually have special needs or disabilities, how many people are parents and family members, and how many people know someone who has disabilities. We then went through our numbers, we confirmed them, and then we determined that we did have a market here in Fresno County for service. We then went out to the community, specifically to Fresno Community College, and we surveyed people to ask them what they thought of our product and what they thought of our solution to see what they thought about our market. Our financial model going forward. We plan to register as a nonprofit during the next year. We plan to receive donation-based revenue of $328 per year. We have actually already surpassed this in the last 6 months of being a company. We are planning to do fundraisers in Fresno and other outreach events in Fresno, both to build our connection with the community and to spread awareness about disabilities and autism specifically. Our MVP. For our MVP, we created a sitemap and a landing page for people to come onto our website, and we took the number of views that we would get off the landing page and the number of total people who have signed up for our landing page. We plan to do this over the next year. Thank you. Do you have any questions, comments, or concerns?
I'm still trying to figure out the revenue. So you said $328 annually.
Yes.
Is that $328 total for a year?
Our current revenue is based off of only donations, not going off of any other form yet.
Okay.
As we continue to develop, we will include more forms of revenue, including ad-based revenue on our website. And we also plan to sell t-shirts and more items as we develop our product.
Okay. So what is your cost in the sense you still got to have people running the program?
Right. What are your expenses?
Yeah, what's your expenses?
So our expenses currently is, for right now, is just keeping the website up and running, which we are still in the development process of outreaching to our partner Quick Labs in order to get Elementor up and running and to actually get the landing page up. And
Okay, you're going to have somebody monitor the website.
yeah.
You got somebody, you better be doing your marketing, social media and all that. Who's going to do that and how are you going to pay them? You're still going to have to go out and do some outreach of getting this database. So, and I still got questions about that. You know, who's going to go in this database, and then, you know, are there going to be monetary obligations to them depending on what the database is? You also have a you're going to have a diagnosis page. I don't understand what that is. I'd like to know a little bit more about that because I don't know, are you really going to be diagnosing people or telling them what their diagnoses are? And if you're going to do that, you're going to need a medical professional to do that, and you're going to have to pay them. So I guess my real concern is cost. You know, yeah, you're a nonprofit, But there's still, even in a nonprofit, there's still ancillary costs that go with this. And you still got to get people to know where you are. So that's the biggest kind of aha moment for me is that I'm just trying to figure out how viable it is that you're going to be able to support doing this. I mean, you might get some people to help you in the beginning, but you're still going to have a better revenue model, because there people are going to have to. Nonprofit means you just don't get profits, but you still got to use that money to pay for the services to get that, all this thing going. And that's the big piece I'm missing right here.
And I have some questions. In addition to all these questions, the database, who's going to maintain that for current information and accuracy? And will it direct just local resources or beyond local resources?
So for the services in the database, we are going to start small, and we are going to find the services that my brother used, because I think that would be the easiest on our shoulders. Then we're going to have to do some outfoot walking and to find these resources, because it's going to be hard, and we understand this. And as for the credibility aspect of it, there has to be some sort of license that they have. We are not familiar with the type of license, but it has to be a registered socialization or like service. It can't be like at someone's house or something like that. There's a lot of precautions to take before putting them into our website. They have to be credible, they have to be registered, et cetera, et cetera.
So one of you will be doing the maintenance of that database on a regular basis?
That will most likely be me and Josiah.
Okay. And then another question is, I thank you for sharing your story about your family's experiences with autism. This seems to be focused towards autism, but I heard mental and physical disabilities. Do you plan to expand beyond autism?
Yes, it's just right now it's sprouted off of autism, so that's what we're most likely going to be starting off with, emotional and mental disabilities, and then we want to go out to physical disabilities.
And so what I heard, when I heard mental disabilities, I hear mental illness, which is the mental and physical disabilities is very, very broad.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to focus on one in particular, I may consider changing the language from mental and physical disabilities to maybe intellectual developmental disabilities, because that's more targeted, with plans to grow.
Okay, thank you.
But I like the concept, and yes, it is very, very needed for a centralized location to access information. Thank you.
I think this is a great concept and idea. I see this kind of like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Angie's List. It's one of those it's a kind of a database where you need your plumbing, or you need services in your house done, but you don't know where to go. You go there and it's recommendations of where to go. It saves time. This is just the same thing, but for a health-related concept, which would save people tons of time. How would your services get on here besides you using ones you already know? Would you be able to promote that? Because I see that kind of as a way as that's how you can generate some revenue, is make sure they're credible, make sure they're viable, and then say, we can put you on this as a preferred service. So it's kind of like they're advertising, but they're coming recommended by you as a service.
Yeah, that same concept was kind of in the works with our business. We're trying to find different ways to generate revenue, because all we have right now is about $900 from GoFundMe, which we set up at the end of January, I believe. So we know that just revenue or donations is just not going to fuel our labor costs in our website, but we're just at kind of the base of things, and we're discussing more revenue streams with our mentor and within the team. So I think that's definitely a great point.
Yeah, and I would also include some kind of referral type system, whereas if I have an issue, you have a kind of a broad spectrum, but I know a facility or service in this field, and I'm already on your website looking for something else, I can say, this is a great facility as well, this is a great service or a great thing that they can use, and you can then do the research and then go out and visit them and see if it's something you can do. So where your customers are actually kind of your source of referrals for other entities to then join because I think the more services you have in here, the better. And I think it's just a matter of just building that first, and then you can start working into ad revenue and things like that.
Yeah, that's a very great idea. Thank you for suggesting that. We'll totally take that.
Yeah, I think it's a great concept.
Thank you.
And then maybe one thing to add is a Facebook group. I think it's again, it's always good to have this data of all this information. But there is no better, as you know, when people have and can share and realize that they're not alone in this. So either a Facebook group or someplace where people can have some kind of a repository area where they can talk or get ideas or, learn a little bit about what other people are doing, because people always want to share their successes, and it's always nice when you have people with kind of a testimonial of something that works versus just news heads or medical professionals and stuff. So maybe either a Facebook group or something that you could also offer where your, people that are going to can share their ideas, strengths, and hopes and things like that, so.
Thank you. I have one more comment.
Yeah.
Have you considered addressing cultural diversity or different languages?
Different languages? No, we have not considered that yet.
I would encourage that. People access resources. Challenges are not discriminatory to ethnicity, gender, or culture, but including a component that would be supportive of various cultures and languages would expand your reach.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I currently work for a nonprofit, and there are people who don't work for free, unfortunately. They have families, they have to pay the bills, so that's my biggest concern here, because I love the mission, by the way, love it. We have a problem in Fresno with the homeless and mental illness, and we don't have an outlet for that very well. It's there, but it doesn't work very well. So I applaud you for coming up with this idea, it's really good.
Thank you.
It's just the revenue stream. Even though I work for a nonprofit, I don't go into work every day and say, this is great, and I go home and I have no money. That just doesn't work that way. So that's the only thing I'm concerned about, of how we generate. It could be through grants. There's a lot of grants out there. I didn't hear that word used yet, but I would definitely look into grants. There are grants out there for something like this, and you can get upwards to $125,000, $150,000 through CalSeed. It could be through anything. I don't know. You have to do that research. So I would look into grants for funding at this point.
I think Jutra was looking into grants earlier, but we never continued to follow out through with that idea. Our mentor mentioned it to us, but now that you bring it up and kind of refresh it into our minds, it's definitely something that we should keep looking into.
And donations is a big part of it. So that means that your marketing, you have to have events, that costs money too.
Mm-hmm.
So your expenses then go up, because you can't just host an event and you can get donations, but most of the time you have to have expenses for that. Renting out a hall, food, catering. You can get most of it donated for the most part if you're a 501c3, but you still have to have that budget for that. Keep that in mind. Good job.
Thank you. Well done. Joe.
Great, thank you.